Right, welcome to the cabinet meeting. Have we got any apologies for absent?
Yes, Chair, we've got apologies from Councillor Jay Birkin and Councillor Jay Barry.
Thank you very much. Any declarations of interest?
None received, Chair.
Thank you. Minutes of the last meeting, they're in your pack. All active with those?
Yep.
Yep, Madam Chair. Are we all in favour of those? Yeah, thank you. Item 4 is the people strategy. Got it here as well. So it's got my name on it, but I mean, I'll lead into it, and I think it's a marvellous document. We've looked at it a couple of times in other places, and we just want to look at it again and adopt the people. Do you want to say anything, Lee?
No, I think the only thing I would add is since we brought it to leadership, it's been to scrutiny committee, service managers forum, employee liaison, and about 16 meetings this week, including street scene and Riverside Chapel and Eckington. So generally, everybody's well aware of it. I've just been in an environmental health meeting and they were made aware of it and excited to see it. So if it does get adopted today, Chair, we'll be due to publish it tomorrow.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Just before I move it formally, I just, on item 2.1, I think that spelled it out. The nature of a great culture to ensure well-being, to always improve and effectively communicate and engage. I think that's something to, and it's a bit like what I said in council the other day. It is down to senior management team, but there really is a philosophy, I believe, in the council that doesn't happen by chance. So this people strategy goes alongside that. So can I move the recommendations that the cabinet approves the adoption of the people 2024.
Thank you, Chair.
We happy with that? Any questions?
No.
Happy? Favour? Thank you. That's lovely. Item 5, council plan objectives. Again, got my name on it. Again, another really good document. You want to speak? Yeah, Matt.
Thank you, Chair. Just should be no surprise in this because council just reported the annual report, which includes some of this in there as well. So no surprise in here. It raises the progress against the capital plan. This is similar to what Lee's just said. This has been on its journey through senior management team, through scrutiny committees before coming here, and no specific concerns or issues were raised through that process either. So obviously, I think you raised, Chair, on the annual council, the annual report, some elements for scrutiny to pick up, which will happen on it in terms of areas of improvement. But all in all, no surprise in here for you as cabinet, as it's largely part of the annual report.
Thank you. And a comment from me again, it does feel that all this is coming together now. It does fit in with the committees, and I thought on Monday it illustrated that with the annual report. In that year, I think, to be honest, first 6 months we're all at a bit of a loss how it all going to pull together, but it does feel now, and I've had comments, because I think there's been a round of scrutiny this week. I think Phil, they feeding back now that they get it. You know, I think first couple of meetings they were, where's our role in all? But it does feel, and these sort of updates and reports quarterly are really good. So again, great work, I think, to get to where we are. So thank you. With that, I'll move the recommendation that we progress against the council plan 23 to 27 and the objectives are noted. Any questions or comments on that? We're all in favour of that then? Yes, you again. Lovely. UK Shared Prosperity Fund update. Chris, I think you've got on that, and again, it is the Paul forward, but she's not here, so again, I'll bring this report, but Chris, do you want to say anything before I do?
Yep, thank you, Chair. Yeah, so this is just a kind of an end of year summary really, and obviously the report details where we're at with each of the 11 thematic areas. So really, it's just to, I suppose, give you just some confidence that we are spending to profile at the moment. And one of the areas where we had potentially some money to reallocate, but it's looking better now, is quality parks and play areas. So can you just go to the third slide, please? The next one. Thank you. So at the moment, we're quietly confident with all the other areas the funding's committed, and that development's underway. With the play areas, we are waiting. There's 3 outstanding projects. 2 are dependent on planning permission, which we understand, that's North Wingfield and Eckington. We understand that there is potential for them both to be heard at June planning committee. So all being well, things will go to plan. But obviously what we're doing is we're just monitoring the situation. We're in contact with both parish councils at the moment. And what we've proposed is that, particularly for North Wingfield, is if they can think about a second project in the area, which use the funding should the North Wingfield project as a whole not get planning permission. So we are quite keen to keep the money in the areas that they've been allocated to. With regards to Sutton Conductminton, they did not have, they basically, because of land registry issues, they can't proceed with their original project. There are no other parks in the local vicinity that would benefit, but they are happy for the money to be relocated to Arkwright. So, but there is a park owned by us, so we're in touch with Street Scene at the moment. So it looks like, although it won't be in Sutton Conductminton, it'll be next door, and the parish council are happy with that. So at the moment, we're quietly confident that we can press ahead with those. So we don't have any kind of major areas of concern in terms of spend. What that looks like at the end of next quarter may be a different matter, but we are so far we're in a good, healthy position. So happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Trish. Just an update on North Wingfield. Well, probably last week I spoke to Graham. It might not get to June's committee, it might be July.
Right.
We have progressed the option B.
Brilliant.
We've met with Compan or whatever they are.
Oh, yes, yeah.
They haven't seen this morning. He's come back with a key.
Excellent.
So as it's looking, that we are option. But just going back onto this, I mean, there's a lot of good work gone into this. I know it's been a bit hard work spending the playground. It was hard funny, but when swings and roundabouts, right?
Literally.
But some other stuff really good, isn't it? The green routes and the food and drink trail and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and the shop front improvements. So again, great way. You can't believe how hard it is to spend money.
You tell us about it. Yeah. No, we are at the moment in time, and obviously what we're doing is, in the areas that we do have some concerns about, we are trying to minimise the risk by exploring these other options. So yeah. So far we're kind of happy with where we're at with it all.
Thank you. And from a North, we appreciate your patience or whatever it is, your understanding of that. So with that, can I move the recommendation that we're asked to note the contents of the report?
Say that, Chair.
Joe, any comment, questions? Joe? Risk management strategy, that's you, Pat.
Yeah, a comprehensive review of the council's management framework now takes place every 2 years, following which the risk management strategy for 2 years ahead will be set. During the autumn of 2023, the council undertook an external assessment in relation to risk management. Range of themes out of a maximum score of 5, the council were assessed at level 4 overall. Public sector was expected to be level 2, with the council scoring level 5 in its culture and leadership, the highest score possible. This is classed as transformational. Due to this review, much of the framework and process remains reassuringly unchanged. However, the amendments and changes are summarised below. The opening section of the report, whilst it does not intend to detail every change in the environment that we operate, is it important to set the scene and demonstrate the changing environment, risk appetite and applying risk appetite, tolerance thresholds. These sections go into more detail, clearly articulating measures when considered the organisation's risk appetite and tolerance and how we apply this. And the third section is the action plan. This is updated to reflect the continual improvement requirements identified. The reasons really for the recommendations of the council is committed to maintain, develop and actively monitor the operation of a formal, systematic approach to risk management. The key objectives of this statutory meet that commitment. They are to operate in line with best practice, to protect service delivery arrangements, to maintain strengths, robust managerial governance arrangements within the council, to promote awareness, to ensure programme, project and partnership risk is effectively managed, to ensure that there are clear roles, responsibilities and accountability for risk management within the council, to ensure an effective identification of risk in relation to service delivery, and to ensure the council is fully informed at a level of awareness of its overall risk exposure. This, I think, follows on from the good inspection that we had. It's now embedded in. We did, when we took the first report back of the how we did, I made the point that we mustn't be complacent. This is the next bit, and it's down, updated in detail, and I move the Cabinet approve the adoption of the new reviewed risk management strategy and action plan for 2024.
Thank you, Pat. And on that, I'll second that. I'm just trying to find if it says out about a snap election.
That's one to last.
It's not.
We'll put a new risk one on. We've been Starmerised.
We've got 3 or 4 members of staff going into the panic mode. But yeah, another really good report, Pat. I think, like it says that we got top at tree, didn't we, with that external thing? So,
but it was easy to just put it back in a cupboard and.
Yeah, we've got to, like you say, constantly monitor risk. There's a lot in there. For me, just hold it back. Are we all in favour of that, Ed, that we approve that, adopt that? Thank you. Adaptations policy. Again, that's got my name on it. But I will, I know that there's Jane on as well for a summary. Again, there's a lot in.
That's absolutely fine. Thank you, Chair. So just to give you a little bit of background, the adaptations policy had to be amended recently because of the outcome of a local government and social care ombudsman complaint. And the ombudsman concluded that we'd not informed our tenants that they could apply for a disabled facilities grant. Now, letter of the law, absolutely, that is what we should be doing, and that's what we'll be doing in the future. However, I think in our defence and Ricknell's defence, custom and practice of not installed in every local authority up and down the country has always kept their DFGs separate from what they do within their own housing stock. And the convoluted way of doing it, according to the law, is that if you refuse it through your housing stock, you have to give the tenant the right to apply through DFG. And if the DFG process approves it, it then goes back into the landlord to decide whether to do it or not. So we were a step missing, if you like. So we've rectified that. We've amended and reviewed the policy. I suppose concerns for us is that it may increase the number of adaptations that we'll have to do to our existing housing stock. Whilst that's absolutely what we should be doing, if that's what the tenant needs, it does make them to re-let those properties in the future because we have to take those adaptations back out again. In some cases, it's not just as simple as grab rails or bathroom wet rooms. It can be floor to ceiling hoists and all sorts of complex extensions, etc. So it is a little bit of a challenge for us, but you know, the law is the law. We have been working with the Ombudsman to make sure that we comply, and we've amended the policy. And we discussed this at length with the inspector when they were in last week, which I think they recognise we were trying to work within the spirit of the law. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. I'm pleased you like that. I do get it now. In the fact, I can remember we went through a thing where we were trying to stop doing these council houses because we were getting to a point where after council houses we've got adaptation. And we try, I think it were a bit tortuous to say we'd prefer tenants to move into a bungalow or one that's already adapted. Otherwise, we'll end up with most houses with adaptations on that, and then people move on or whatever, that they're not needed. So you have to take them all out again. And it will get a bit untenable, won't it? But it sounds like we can't do that.
Unfortunately not. The law says that we have to, I mean, we can still work with tenants to offer them a move, but if ultimately they want an adaptation done within their home, then the law is effectively on their side.
Yeah. So all the full documents in here, but really all we've done is change that bit.
Yeah, our policy is compliant with the legislation, so I think that's the message to take away from it.
That's brilliant. So again, I'll move that we endorse the amendment to the adaptation policy.
Chair.
Are we all in favour? Any comment? Not. Thank you. Decisions on the Sherland and Higham Parish Neighbourhood Plan. Like it, I've not. Sorry. Oh, that's why you're here, David. Right. Is that? Oh, it's Steve's name. Sorry, Steve.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, you should have a copy of it. A few years ago, Sherland and Higham Parish Council submitted an application to us for designation of the parish as a neighbourhood area, with agreement with the parish council and others. An independent examiner was appointed. You've got a copy of that report. The examiner's made quite a few suggestions, mainly about the green gap statements in there, and amended those, and is recommending that we accept the plan with the examiner's comments on there. Do you want to say anything, David, on that while you?
Yeah, just briefly, Chair. So there was the examination took place between March and May, during which time there was a consultation exercise, and we fed into that exercise. And as Councillor Pickering has said, the main area that we sort of raised contention with was the proposed significant green gaps policy. Effectively, the policies in a neighbourhood plan have to have conformity with the local and national planning policy framework, and we had some concerns about essentially the evidence base behind some of those proposed designations for significant green gaps, and the end result is the inspector, the examiner, sorry, did conclude that one of those should be taken out in full and one of the significant green gaps amended. So I think we were, as officers, happy with that position. And we got the report from the examiner on the 1st of May, and as per the regulations, we have 5 weeks to effectively make comment on how we then take it forward, whether we're satisfied with that position and happy for it to go forward to referendum. So the decision today is about basically endorsing, hopefully, officers' view that we are satisfied with that. It can progress to referendum. I think the one thing to highlight is that the referendum is proposed to be scheduled on the 18th of July in the documents that you've got. Obviously, as of events yesterday, that's not really a workable option now. We have to publish the draft neighbourhood plan and various associated documents 28 days before that vote. So obviously that's going to clash with preparation works for the general election. Discussions have been had today with the parish clerk, and the suggestion that we're working towards is revising that date for referendum to September. We haven't got a specific date yet. Obviously, we've been working on that just today. But basically those conversations have been fine about postponing. So the proposal is essentially to say that we're happy to take it forward, but that referendum date would actually be sometime in September.
So with that, there's two recommendations. One, that we accept the examiner's decision statement and it goes forward to a referendum that was just explained will be later on in the year. And the second recommendation is that if more than 50%, more than half of those voted in that referendum agree with that we ask the managing director to exercise his existing delegation to make Shirland and Higham Parish Neighbourhood Plan or to action that and put it in. I'll move those two recommendations, Chair.
Yeah, I'll second that. Just a question on seconded it. How much extra weight do these neighbourhood plans cause, David? I think I've asked it before, but
Yeah, quite a significant amount. I mean, one of the officers in the planning policy team, Helen Fairfax's team, spends most of his time on neighbourhood plan work, not entirely, but a lot. Yeah, when it gets into this process, it's quite intensive, and then obviously that's down to the elections team then to take the referendum forward. So yes, quite a bit.
yeah, because I know we get some money back. Is it 20,000?
Yes, you can. Yeah, we can claim grants for the work undertaken, but it's a significant amount. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been a concern that, to be honest. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Second.
I move the Chair.
Are we all in favour then?
Yep.
Thank you. Urgent business, I've had none. So, end of the meeting.
Very good.
Thank you very much for your attendance.